All right, welcome back, friends. We have this old violin here, and I want to tell you a little bit of a background about violins. So when they're old and when they have wear marks on there and they have signs, not just that they've been antiques, but they've been truly played, is a huge sign that it is a great sounding violin. So I say all that to say this violin has a wear mark where the person playing it would put their hand on the upper bout, and you can see all the wear on there that the varnish has been basically worn away. Part of the upper bouts, it's been worn away, and you can tell that a hand has actually worn it away. It's when it looks like it's been kind of worn away with leather versus antiquing and such. So it just kind of has, like where Catherine's left hand is, you can see where that hand would rest on the violin here. See how all that's been worn away, and that's just used from hands over time, plus other wear marks that are telltale. So I say that to say this violin, we spent a heck of a lot of money on. This violin would have been probably recommended for the rubbish pile by other luthiers based on how much repairs it needed to be done. The neck had to be totally reset, had to be extended. Somebody did a botched job on it. So it was totally taken off, totally redone. Over $2,000 worth of retail repairs have been done to this old violin, but it was all for the hunch that this was a great sounding conservatory violin. We don't believe it's German. We think it is probably Czechoslovakian, possibly French, we don't know, or somewhere from those European areas. Conservatory sourced these violins from so many different areas, and so many different makers traveled from different regions. So all that said, we don't know where it's from. We just know that it is old, it is gorgeous, and it is in prime playing condition. Everything's been redone from the pegs to the fingerboard. The neck is at the appropriate angles, but I'm sure you want to hear it, I want to hear it, and I'm sure Catherine is ready to play and would like to hear it. So without further ado, we'll ask Catherine to give it a demo.
So before I put it through a slight stress test so you can hear all the different ranges, I'm sure you noticed that I played with two different bows, and I hope that the microphone picked up the two very distinct differences between the two bows. So I have a carbon fiber bow here, your run-of-the-mill Diamond GX, and then I have my 100-year-old lovely little Hill bow. It's my favorite little old boy. And the difference between the two bows on this instrument was very apparent. With the carbon fiber, it just kind of pushed out a lot more sound, but the wood bow coaxed out this very sweet tone in this instrument. And I actually nicknamed this, I think it was Hot Honey, or I nicknamed it Honey, because of just the sweet the sweetness of the instrument. But I also call it Hot Honey because she's sweet, but she's also loud. So let's hear the full range of this instrument. Did you hear that sound? That was so pretty. Just like blossomed on that A string. Whew, that was really nice. I had to go back for it twice. Another one of those just mysterious sweet sounds. Definitely has, like John said, definitely had that European sweetness to it. I find that a lot of European violins. Now, I haven't heard a bunch of European violins. I have to just make that disclaimer. But in general, the European instruments that I have heard have generally been more Italian and French instruments through my colleagues and professors from my university. And so this instrument reminds me a little bit more of the Venetian sound, just a little bit. Not that I'm saying that this is from Italy, but it has a lot of that sweet Italian kind of sound. And maybe even French. I there's no label in here, but it has that sweetness from those two places. So it's so interesting to hear. So forgive me for playing for so long. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I got kind of wrapped up. As I was playing, and I was kind of adjusting my playing and how I was drawing out sounds on the instrument, and depending on your approach on playing this one, it can change the sound, which is incredible. And so sometimes, things got a little bit crunchy, so I made a slight adjustment and it went from crunchy to sweet, which was amazing. The response on this instrument is just phenomenal. The resonance in the wood is just incredible. I was really feeling it all along my jawline, even through the paper towel, which was amazing. And it just has this old-fashioned sweetness to it that you really don't hear a lot in modern violins. It's a different day and age. Symphonies and different places where we perform have different requirements, and so a lot of the more modern instruments are just a lot more powerful, a lot more articulate, but this it's like such a nice nostalgic step back into time. And especially with the first piece that I played, it just sings and fills the room with this beautiful, sweet, longing sound that you really don't hear a lot nowadays, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'll play a few more things just so that you can, I can stop talking and you can keep hearing the instrument. violin, with the way that the A and the E string felt, it's just asking for slides, which we don't hear a ton of slides anymore in the modern day. With classical music, we try to keep things as pretty clean as possible with minimal slides, and in some rare cases we're allowed to slide a little more often than normal. But just my hand is just able to just to shoot up there. It's able to just go up into the high registers. It's just asking for these slides that we would hear more in like the 18 and 1900s. It just feels so nice to shift. Now, I will have to say, when I played earlier up on the G string, I heard a tiny bit of a wolf tone up in this high register, which has an easy fix. There are little contraptions that you can put right here on the instrument. I think this might only be for cello, so please don't quote me on this, but I think there are like little things that you can attach onto the body of the instrument in order to kind of cure that wolf tone. But a wolf tone doesn't necessarily mean that an instrument is bad. I think everybody at some point with their professional instruments has dealt with a wolf tone. It just happens. Basically, a wolf tone is where when you play a note, there are two frequencies that are created, and they clash so much that it creates like a flutter, and it feels like there's a little flutter under your finger, which is, it's kind of cool. if you ever get to experience it, it's kind of a cool feeling. But it doesn't indicate that the instrument is bad or anything. My instrument used to have a wolf tone, and I use it professionally. I think my viola has a wolf tone on the G string somewhere. It just kind of happens, and I know that one of my old teachers from long ago also had a wolf tone, and she has a thing on here because the instrument just sounded so good. She had to, put a little thing on here. It's this little cylinder thing. I don't know what it is. I'm so sorry, but it's a little cylindrical thing that you can put on the string that just really helps that wolf tone. This one is it's just such a sweet instrument. It's just sweet like honey, but hot honey because she can really sing. And I just love all of the markings on here. Like each little mark is like a story of like what this instrument has been through. It's just amazing what John does, that he was able to bring this beautiful instrument back to life and to bring it up to a stellar point of performance on this instrument. So if you're looking for just a beautifully sweet instrument for whatever you are doing, she's your gal. Like this is such a sweet instrument. It's definitely the right choice for you if you're looking for that.
Awesome, Catherine. This violin is actually opened up as you've played it. You can hear it just kind of has changed its sound, and I love that you've nicknamed it. We've gone through at least no less than 3 nicknames. It's been Fireball, Hot Honey, and Habanero Honey, so very much terms of endearment. The violin certainly sings. I call it a silver screen type of romantic sound to it. So it's hugely dynamic and just gorgeous, and it usually resonant. I don't want to say it shook the room, but you could feel a lot of the resonance in this room with those 2 plates going, the top plate and bottom plate, just doing something magical. So anyway, I'm gonna certainly listen to this one again. It was beautiful, wonderful performance, Catherine. Great job, violin maker in history. Whoever you are, you really did a great job. And thank you, online friends, for listening. And wow, 15 minutes. This is one of our longest demos. So I'm gonna imagine this violin is probably not gonna last very long. So anyway, thank you all. Have a great day. Play on, my friends.